Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Episode 9.
Elinor! What luck! I was to call on you this afternoon before you leave for Cleveland, and now I find you on my own doorstep.
Good morning, brother. Is Fanny well?
Fanny is in her own room, but I'm sure she will not have the least objection in the world to be seeing you, especially as there now cannot be... But however, you and Marianne were always great favourites. Now, Elinor, this living of Colonel Brandon's, can it be true? Has he really given it to Edward?
It is perfectly true.
Well, Edward is a very lucky man. You will not mention the matter to Fanny, however, for though I have broke it to her, and she bears it vastly well, she will not like to hear it much talked of. Mrs. Ferrars knows nothing about it at present, and I believe it'll be best to keep it entirely concealed from her as long as may be.
But why should such precaution be used? She has done with her son. She cast him off forever.
On that note, we think now of Robert's marrying Miss Morton.
The lady, I suppose, has no choice in the affair.
Choice? How do you mean?
I only mean that, I suppose, from your manner of speaking, it must be the same to Miss Morton whether she marry Edward or Robert.
Certainly there can be no difference, for Robert will now be considered as the eldest son. And as to anything else, they're both very agreeable young men. I do not know that one is superior to the other. Of one thing, my dear sister, I may assure you. Whatever objections there might have been against a certain connection, you understand me, it would have been far preferable to her. I heard that Mrs. Ferrars said it would have been beyond comparison the least evil of the two. But, however, all that is quite out of the question. Ah, Robert, you've met Miss Dashwood.
Yes. And I've heard all about the Colonel's offer to Edward. Edward! A clergyman! Oh, and such a small parsonage house! Oh, it is quite diverting. I imagine Edward reading prayers and publishing banns of marriage between John Smith and Mary Brown. I never was so shocked in my life as when it all burst forth. I immediately said to Mother, "My dear madam, I must say that if Edward does marry this young woman, I never will see him again." Oh, poor Edward. He has done for himself completely.
Have you seen the lady?
Yes, once, and I saw quite enough of her. The merest awkward country girl, without style or elegance, and almost without beauty. I remember her perfectly. I offered immediately to talk to Edward myself and dissuade him from the match, but it was too late then. He must be starved. You know, that is certain. Absolutely starved.
Miss Dashwood, how kind of you to call. John tells me, Elinor, that you and Marianne are to leave town soon. I am grieved to hear it. I had so hoped to see more of the both of you. We should be so happy for you to come to stay at Norland whenever it should happen to be in your way.
And, of course, we shall visit you at Delaford when your happy event happens, Elinor. I hear the Colonel will be joining you at Cleveland. Now that is a fine match.
How have you enjoyed your week with us at Cleveland, Miss Marianne? Must you really leave us so soon?
You have some truly beautiful walks here, Mrs. Palmer.
Yes, the way to the Grecian temple seems to be a favourite. I would recommend not erring from the path near the top of the hill, especially in the long grass.
Elinor has already chastised me for my wet shoes, Mr. Palmer.
And I think your sister has good cause, too.
Oh, Marianne, I said you would catch cold.
A good night's rest will cure me entirely, Elinor. I will be right as anything before you depart tomorrow.
You are shivering. Let me fetch a blanket.
Please do not fuss, Elinor.
Was there anything we can do?
Encourage her to get some rest, Colonel.
You need not encourage me. I shall take myself to bed.
Take my arm, Miss Marianne. I will assist you.
Thank you, Colonel.
Perhaps we should call for Dr. Harris.
Doctor, what is your verdict?
I'm sure a very few days will restore your sister to health, but this disorder can have a putrid tendency. I think, Mrs. Palmer, with the risk of infection in the house, I would urge your immediate removal with the infant.
Good God! Mr. Palmer! Mr. Palmer!
You too, ma'am?
I will not stir from Cleveland as long as Marianne remains ill, if I can be of comfort to Miss Dashwood.
Thank you, Mrs. Jennings.
I'll write at once to your mother.
Oh, Marianne.
We will not be returning home tomorrow, will we, Elinor?
Not until you're well enough to travel. Get some sleep, dearest. Marianne, you need to drink this cordial from Dr. Harris. You must try.
Is Mamma coming?
Not yet. Do lie down, Marianne. She will be here, I hope, before it is too long. It is a great way from hence to Barton.
But she must not go round by London. I shall never see her if she goes round by London.
Miss Dashwood, I heard shouting. Is all well?
Oh, Colonel, she is worse, much worse. Her pulse is so low and quick. We must dispatch a messenger to Barton for my mother.
I will go to fetch Mrs. Dashwood myself at once.
She is very unwell indeed. My treatments so far have failed, but I have one more to try, and I'm confident these tinctures will improve your sister's chances.
Chances?
Miss Dashwood, her fever is unabated, and I cannot deny that she is in some danger. I will return tomorrow at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, get some rest yourself. You may need all your strength, Miss Dashwood.
What do you think, Doctor? Does not her pulse feel better? And she is not so pale as before?
Miss Dashwood, she has surpassed even my expectations. She's entirely out of danger.
Oh, Marianne, that will be Mother. Colonel Brandon must have made excellent time. I did not expect them until much nearer to 10.
Sir, please, may I take your coat? Sir?
Mamma, Marianne is out of... Good Lord, Willoughby!
Miss Dashwood, for half an hour, for 10 minutes, I entreat you to stay and talk to me.
No, sir, I shall not. Your business cannot be with me.
Your sister is out of danger. I heard it from the servant. Is it really true? For God's sake, tell me, is she out of danger or is she not?
We hope she is.
For once, Miss Dashwood, it will be the last time. Perhaps let us be cheerful together. Tell me honestly, do you think me most a knave or a fool?
Mr. Willoughby, I advise you to return to Coombe. Whatever your business may be with me, it will be better recollected and explained tomorrow.
Yes, I'm drunk. A pint of porter with my cold beef at the inn on my journey from London was enough to overset me.
Mr. Willoughby, your coming here in this manner requires a very particular excuse. What is it that you mean by it?
I mean to make you hate me 1 degree less than you do now by convincing you that, though I have always been a blockhead, I have not always been a rascal. To obtain something like forgiveness from your sister.
If that is all, you may be satisfied already, for Marianne has long forgiven you.
Has she? Then she has forgiven me before she ought to have done it. Now will you listen to me?
I will.
When I first met you all at Barton, I had no other intention than to pass my time pleasantly while I was obliged to remain in Devonshire. Careless of your sister's happiness, thinking only of my own amusement, I endeavoured by every means in my power to make myself pleasing to her, without any design of returning her affection.
It is hardly worthwhile, Mr. Willoughby, for me to listen any longer.
I insist on you hearing the whole of it. My fortune was never large, and I had always been expensive. and though the death of my old cousin Mrs. Smith was to set me free, it had been for some time my intention to re-establish my circumstances by marrying a woman of fortune. To attach myself to your sister, therefore, was not a thing to be thought of. I was acting in this manner, trying to engage her regard, without a thought of returning it. But to have resisted such attractions, to have withstood such tenderness! The happiest hours of my life were what I spent with her when I felt my intentions were strictly honourable. Even then, however, when fully determined on paying my addresses to her, I allowed myself most improperly to put off from day to day the moment of doing it. At last, however, my resolution was taken, and I determined as soon as I could engage her alone to openly assure her of an affection which I had already taken such pains to display. But a circumstance occurred, an unlucky circumstance, to ruin all my resolution, and with it all my comfort. A discovery took place. Mrs. Smith had somehow or other been informed of an affair, a connection, but I need not explain myself farther. You have probably heard the whole story long ago.
I have. I have heard it all, and how you will explain away any part of your guilt in that dreadful business, I confess, is beyond my comprehension.
Remember from whom you received this account. Could Brandon be impartial? Her affection for me deserved better treatment. I heartily wish, it had never been.
Your indifference towards that unfortunate girl is not apology for your cruel neglect of her.
I did not recollect that I had omitted to give her my address, and common sense might have told her how to find it out. My cousin offered to forgive the past if I would marry Eliza. That could not be, and I was dismissed from her favour and from her house. My affection for Marianne, my thorough conviction of her attachment to me, it was all insufficient to outweigh that dread of poverty.
Why did you call at the cottage, Mr. Willoughby? A note would have answered every purpose.
It was necessary to my own pride. The sight of your dear sister was dreadful. I had left her only the evening before so fully, so firmly resolved within myself on doing right. Her sorrow, her disappointment, her deep regret when I told her that I was obliged to leave Devonshire so immediately, I never shall forget it. Oh God, what a hard-hearted rascal I was! Then came your dear mother to torture me farther with all her kindness and confidence.
Well, sir, and this is all?
No! Have you forgot what passed in town? That infamous letter. Did she show it you?
I saw every note that passed.
When the first of hers reached me, as it immediately did, for I was in town the whole time, every line, every word was a dagger to my heart. To know that Marianne was in town was a thunderbolt. Thunderbolts and daggers! What reproof she would have given me for such hackneyed metaphor! Her taste, her opinions, I believe they are better known to me than my own, and I am sure they are dearer.
This is not right, Mr. Willoughby. Remember that you are married.
I felt that she was infinitely dearer to me than any other woman in the world. But everything was then just settled between Miss Grey and me. To retreat was impossible. All that I had to do was to avoid you both. I sent no answer to Marianne, and for some time I was even determined not to call in Berkeley Street. But judging it wiser to affect the air of a cool common acquaintance than anything else, I watched you all safely from the house one morning, and left my name.
Watched us?
I have entered many a shop to avoid your sight. If you can pity me, Miss Dashwood, pity my situation as it was then. With my head and my heart full of your sister, I was forced to play the happy lover to another woman. As I need not tell you, you were forced on me, and what an evening of agony it was. Marianne, beautiful as an angel on one side, calling me Willoughby in such a tone, asking me for an explanation, with those bewitching eyes, and Sophia, jealous as the devil on the other hand, looking all that was... Well, it does not signify. It is over now. I ran away from you all as soon as I could, but not before I had seen Marianne's sweet face as white as death. Your sister is certainly better, certainly out of danger?
We are assured of it.
Your poor mother.
But the letter, Mr. Willoughby. Your own letter. Have you nothing to say on that?
What do you think of my wife's style of letter writing?
Your wife? The letter was in your own hand.
Yes, but had only the credit of severely copying such sentences as I was ashamed to put my name to. Your sister's letter caught Sophia's eye before mine, and made her more jealous than ever. She opened the letter and read it. She read what made her wretched. And her wretchedness I could have borne, but her passion, her malice. But what could I do? We were engaged, the day almost fixed. But I am talking like a fool. In honest words, her money was necessary to me, and anything was to be done to prevent a rupture. Your sister's 3 notes, and luckily they were all in my pocket-book, or I should have denied their existence and hoarded them forever. So too the lock of hair that I had always carried about me in the same pocket-book was torn from me.
You ought not to speak in this way, either of Mrs. Willoughby or my sister. You had made your own choice. It was not forced upon you. Your wife must be attached to you, or she would not have married you. To treat her with unkindness, to speak of her slightingly, is no atonement to Marianne.
Do not talk to me of my wife. She does not deserve your compassion. She knew I had no regard for her when we married. And now do you pity me, Miss Dashwood? Am I, be it only 1 degree, less guilty in your opinion than I was before?
You have proved your heart less wicked. But I hardly know the misery that you have inflicted. I hardly know what could have made it worse.
Tell her that my heart was never inconstant to her, and if you will, that at this moment she is dearer to me than ever.
I will tell her all that is necessary. But you have not explained to me the particular reason of your coming now.
Last night I ran into Sir John Middleton, and for the first time these 2 months he spoke to me. His good-natured, honest, stupid soul, full of indignation against me and concerns for your sister, could not resist the temptation of telling me what he knew ought vex me horribly. As bluntly as he could speak it, therefore, he told me that Marianne Dashwood was dying of a putrid fever at Cleveland, and the Palmers all gone off in fright. What I felt on hearing that your sister was dying, and dying believing me the greatest villain upon earth, scorning, hating me in her last moments, what I felt was dreadful. My resolution was soon made, and at 8 o'clock this morning I was in my carriage. Now you know all. There is no use in staying here. I must be off. And yet, you do think something better of me than you did?
I pity you, and wish you and your wife well.
Domestic happiness is out of the question. Marianne, to be sure, is lost to me forever. Were I even by any blessed chance at liberty again...
Goodbye, Mr. Willoughby.
Yes, once more goodbye. I shall now go away and live in dread of one event.
What do you mean?
Your sister's marriage.
She can never be more lost to you than she is now.
But she will be gained by someone else. And if that someone should be the very he whom, of all others, I could least bear... But I will not stay to rob myself of all your compassionate goodwill. Goodbye, Miss Dashwood.
Sense and Sensibility was a Nothing But Roaring and White Cobra co-production. Georgina Pearson was Elinor, and Sarah Parker was Marianne. Richard Jordan was John Dashwood, Vicky Kelly was Fanny Dashwood, and Ben Stanton was Robert Ferrars. Geoff Davies was Colonel Brandon, Will Adams was Mr. Palmer, and Carmen Simoni was Charlotte Palmer. Sue Whyte was Mrs. Jennings, Barry Dougal was Dr. Harris, Sean Grace was Mr. Willoughby, and Jude Wilton was the Palmer's servant. Sense and Sensibility was adapted by Rebecca Cockcroft from the novel by Jane Austen. Edited and produced by Nothing But Roaring for White Cobra.